Well, welcome everyone to a brand new year of Blu-ray news, and hope you like the new style, the new intro, the new setup here and everything, because felt like it was a little time to get a new fresh coat of paint on everything. And I got some fantastic titles to share with you today, because 2018 seems like it's shaping up to be a really good year, with titles ranging from action to horror to fantasy. And starting out today, we got some news from Shout Factory and a couple of its accompanying labels, including full details on their Blu-ray release of the 1988 action film Shakedown, which in international territories is called Blue Jean Cop, but this wonderful undersung gem from writer-director James Glickenhaus stars the fantastically charismatic Peter Weller and the incomparable Sam Elliott as a prosecutor and down-on-his-luck detective going up against a corrupt New York City where the bad guys are hooked up with the corrupt cops and all these different things. It's a wonderful undersung gem of the action cinema, and we're getting so many good things from James Glickenhaus on this whole thing, including a full introduction to the film by him, a full-length audio commentary, a separate interview about the film, and they're going to have a little bit of a featurette on the story that he had when he encountered jazz legend Miles Davis after he had a car wreck and pretty much saved his life. It's going to be a fantastic little thing along with some still galleries and a theatrical trailer. Sounds like a definite buy for anyone who has any interest in these fantastic actors or just getting a nice solid 80s action film. This is packed with such good action sequences, a really fantastically colorful characters and a really solid direction. This Glickenhaus is probably his most polished type of film, where he had previously done stuff like The Soldier and Exterminator. It's much more kind of fresh for a lower budget type of stuff. This was a full Universal studio picture, so they had a lot of money to go with, put on a lot of value on screen with this film. I think it's one that really deserves a lot more attention. You guys should definitely check this out when it hits Blu-ray on January 23rd. And of course, no details yet on this, but they did announce they're going to be releasing the Joe Dante film The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern. This wonderful 1989 sort of dark comedy in a certain way, where it melds all of Joe Dante's signature type of things with the humor and the horror homages and all this type of stuff. Film I've grown up on since I probably saw it on cable in like 1990. It's a wonderful, interesting, cool little flick that's just like nice little thing to kind of burn away about 90 minutes of your time, that just has wacky characters and interesting scenarios and just kind of dark little edges here and there. I'm sure they're going to put together a fantastic collector's edition release for this. And hopefully there's going to be a bit of a new transfer, because the original transfer from, I believe it was Universal as well, wasn't terribly great. And even the one from Arrow is a much better transfer. But apparently there's a lot of heavy grain in the film stock for this movie and everything. So hopefully Shout Factory will do a nice quality type of thing to get this out, and a nice new transfer that has a nice quality to it. Maybe not reference quality, but hopefully it's a new transfer and a whole bunch of new interviews. Be interesting who they get beyond Joe Dante, because obviously Tom Hanks is one of the biggest stars in the world. Don't know if you'll get him for an interview, but Bruce Dern's still around, a couple other people still around. Sadly, a couple other people involved with the film, such as Carrie Fisher, and a few other people have passed since that time and whatnot, but hopefully we'll get some good interviews, maybe commentary and some featurettes about various things, and just have a nice package for this wonderful, another sort of undersung type of film, but definitely one of Joe Dante's best films, along with stuff like Gremlins, Inner Space, and a few other little things here and there. But fact of the matter is, good stuff on that. And jumping on to the horror side of things, Scream Factory announced that they are doing steelbook releases for John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness and Assault on Precinct 13, hitting on March 27th, which is going to contain all the same features that you had before on the previous releases, but it's just going to be brand new, sleek packaging that the ones they released a couple months ago went over very well with, like Escape from New York and They Live or whatnot, so they're going to push this nicely. If you haven't picked these up, definitely get them, because I did the review on Prince of Darkness a little while ago, and that looked fantastic on Blu-ray, so if you haven't gotten it already, definitely put this on your pre-order list and grab it, because it's going to be a nice thing to get if you want that nice quality thing on your shelf and really enjoy the film. So, nice thing there. And a little bit of details on the release of The Strangers, which is going to be hitting up shortly before the sequel hits theaters in 2018. There will be a collector's edition release with the remastered theatrical and unrated cuts. being presented with brand new transfers on HD and everything, but they'll hit March 6th from Screen Factory, but no fuller details have been announced yet, but hopefully they'll get some maybe commentaries and whatnot, but we'll see how things go and port over whatever was left over from the previous release and everything. But that's a really tense, scary horror film that I really enjoyed. I haven't watched it too much, but it was always such a good thing to watch when you just kind of home alone about like 1 o'clock in the morning and just watching this film. These home invaders just creepy as shit, man. Me and my friend Steve, who do the commentaries together, he's a big fan of it as well, so this is definitely one that you kind of look out for. If you're not seeing The Strangers, you definitely should check it out if you like a nice, tense, atmospheric, creepy horror film. It does the trick for me, so hopefully it would do it for you. And fantastically, Warner Archive has announced that Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is getting a Blu-ray release in early 2018. Apparently only the unrated cut is being released on that format. They don't seem to be having any announcement of including the R-rated version and sort of a seamless branching affair like on the DVD release or whatnot. But they're porting over everything else from the DVD release. The old commentary track, the Saw's Family Featurette, which is a very in-depth, very honest look behind the scenes of this highly troubled production. We know what to do with them parts, deleted scenes, sort of a featurette that they had and everything. The alternate ending for the film, the original theatrical trailer in HD, and some other TV spots and whatnot. But still seems elusive that the old Laserdisc commentary is probably not going to be included on this. It just said filmmaker commentary for this, but considering they had sort of the spliced together clips or whatnot for the DVD release of just various people commenting on the film and spliced between and whatnot, that's likely the same one they're going to put on the Blu-ray release, because the old Laserdisc release of the film had actual scene-specific commentary from members of the production and everything. So that's been a bit of a gem locked in the analog disc format from back then. But be saying I'll definitely probably look to pick up on both Blu-ray and Laserdisc just to get that commentary track, if what I'm saying does turn out to be true. But haven't hit a date yet, but they just said early 2018, and they said it's going to be completely HD remaster for the unrated cut of the film. And I did my review of it early this year or whatnot, but I think it's a better film that you would think would come out from the production troubles it had. Not a great film, but it's definitely worth checking out if you have any interest towards that franchise. I think it's one of the more consistently focused type of sequels, and a bit more enjoyable than some of the other ones that have come out over the years and whatnot. But regardless of that, another little interesting thing is that now that kind of rights for the Friday the 13th distribution have kind of folded back into the original Warner and Paramount lots or whatnot, Paramount will re-release the first 8 Friday the 13th films on Blu-ray on February 13th, and hopefully it'll be kind of modestly priced, because this has been out of print for a very long time. You always saw very exorbitant prices to get them on Amazon or eBay or whatnot. And they did re-release the first 4 on Blu-ray separately over the last couple of months, but this will contain everything up to Jason Takes Manhattan. And once you get it on February 13th, you can go ahead and re-enjoy the commentary tracks that my friend Steve Fraser and I put together over the last couple of months, because there's no new features or whatnot. This is just a straight re-release of the old deluxe edition releases that were put out many years ago and whatnot, so nothing too fresh or original to enjoy there. But if you're looking to get these on Blu-ray, you'll be able to get them on February 13th and just enjoy them as much as you can, and hopefully enjoy them a little bit more with our commentary tracks. But digressing from there and moving on to a little bit of another action type of film in a sort of way, is that Kino Lorber Studio Classics announced that the Kathleen Turner sort of action detective type of film that she did called V.A. Warshawski, based on a book series that didn't quite go into a full film series, will be released also on February 13th with new Blu-ray transfer and new director commentary and everything. It's kind of a nice little film that I hunted down the DVD a couple of years ago, because I remember my dad renting it and watching it many, many years ago, and always just having that thought of watching it myself. So I hunted it down, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little film that wasn't great. It has also like Wayne Knight and Charles Durning in, so it's got a couple of good quality talents in the film. But it was never a great film, but I think it's worth checking out. There's definitely a good thing in Kathleen Turner's prime, which she was fantastic in. Be an interesting, nice little release to get if you're interested in the film and all. But the biggest news I got for you today, guys, is that the Jim Henson classic, The Dark Crystal, is being remastered in 4K with Blu-ray and ultra high definition 4K releases, which will include a brand new behind the scenes look, including interviews from Lisa Henson and Toby Froud, and a whole bunch of stuff that's being carried over from previous releases, including deleted scenes, commentary tracks, picture-in-picture storyboard tracks, a whole bunch of other little documentaries and featurettes and trailers and whatnot. And this is just being thrown out there to you guys on March 6th from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. And this is just like one of those films that you grew up on in the 80s. It was always a little bit scary or whatnot. It really had that kind of edge to it, whatnot, that kids' films had back then, like Never-Ending Story or whatnot. They didn't afraid to get a little bit dark with their fairy tale stories or whatnot, but it's a really good, accomplished piece of work from Jim Henson, who passed away many, many years ago, but left behind some fantastic legacy of work and films to really kind of be a testament to what he brought to puppeteering and all these different ways of telling a story or whatnot, immersing you into a fantasy world and everything. The Dark Crystal is definitely one of those classics that's still revered today, and seeing it on the heels of like the Labyrinth remaster that was put out about a year or so ago, getting this remaster as well just shows that there's a definite life to Jim Henson's work that's being rediscovered and continues to be loved generation through generation. Parents pass it on to their kids and whatnot, and reliving these types of films to keep these films alive in the consciousness of film goers and everything is a wonderful type of thing to see this being given that type of treatment and that type of care or whatnot. Jim Henson, fantastic type of thing. He cannot undersell his talent. He even worked creating the Ninja Turtles in the original 1990 Ninja Turtles film, which is an amazing accomplishment as well. So that type of thing in The Dark Crystal is also there, and just a fantastic type of thing for you guys to discover, watch, and bring into your collection if you haven't already. So guys, that's all I got for you for Blu-ray news this time. But 2018 looks like it's going to be a fantastic year for some Blu-ray releases, and hopefully some other fantastics that will really kind of rocket its way into our consciousnesses about some, hopefully, maybe James Cameron will finally get those damn Abyss and True Lies Blu-rays out, but I'm not holding my breath. But I can hope. Anyway, guys, comments about what you're really excited for, what's going on your wish list, what you're pre-ordering, what you're really looking forward to. Share your thoughts below and spread these links around if you want to get more people up to date on more Blu-ray news. You know where to find it. Check things out here. Be back soon. Take care. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.